everybody. Welcome to the Hall H Show podcast. We are at San Diego Comic-Con 2018, and I'm joined by a familiar face here, Mr. Ming Chen from AMC's Comic Book Men. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, man, and also fellow podcaster, though.
That's right.
Fellow podcaster.
Well, we'll definitely get into that a little bit later because that's something I want to talk to you about.
Okay, for sure.
But unfortunately, due to I guess recent news, we're not going to see Comic Book Men.
No,
anytime.
AMC has declined to pick up and produce an 8th season. You know, we had a great run, 7 seasons, and yeah, it was shocking news. Shocking news. A little disheartening. I thought we had a great thing going. I thought we could keep it going for many years to come, but numbers. For whatever reason, I'm sure that it's a great reason, but. Like, we're not going to do it 8th season. So, it stinks. If you watch the show, you can obviously tell we're having a lot of fun. Uh-huh. And being on AMC, being on Comic Book, probably one of the greatest jobs in the world. I get to sit in a comic book store and BS with my friends all day. It's pretty amazing. And then have it put on TV after The Walking Dead. I mean, how much luckier can you get? So, while it stinks that we won't be coming back there, we were usually shooting this week. And since we're not shooting, I was like, you know what? Let's go to San Diego. Let's go. Celebrate a great run at the ultimate Comic-Con, in all the world. And shockingly, I've not been here in 15 years.
Yeah.
A lot of people just assume that I go every year because you're a comic book man. You go to the biggest con in the world, right? And no, last 7 years we usually shoot during this week.
Right.
So we couldn't get out. One year we tried to shoot here, but they kind of shut it down. It gets crazy here, so. And then the years before that, I just couldn't find, either the finances or or the time to come down. So that being said, being back here, it's pretty amazing. If I can't be shooting a TV show, I would rather be at San Diego Comic-Con.
I know. One of my favorite memories of you on the show is the USS flag.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm a big G.I. Joe fan, big G.I. Joe collector. USS flag is kind of the holy grail of G.I. Joe collecting. Mm-hmm. And when it came out when I was 9 years old, it's all I wanted, all I dreamt about. But it was also a toy that pretty much passed. It was one of the first toys to pass the $100 mark or be close to it. In an era where a G.I. Joe 3 3/4 inch figure was about $2.50, maybe $3.
Yeah.
So I didn't have $100. I didn't have $100. You'd have to go to family to finance something like that. And my family was very frugal. And they're like, no, we're not buying you a 7-foot plastic aircraft carrier for over $100. So I had to wait 30 years later till I could acquire one myself.
Right. Besides G.I. Joe, what were you interested when you were younger?
I'm an 80s kid. So G.I. Joe, Transformers, Thundercats. There was a toy line called Mask that not really obscure, but not a lot of people know about it. There was one with holograms called Visionaries that I collected as well.
Jason and the Argonauts? Or Jason and the Wheeled Warriors.
Yeah.
Jason and the Wheeled Warriors.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, things like that. Yeah. But I think G.I. Joe took up most of my finances.
Yeah. How about comic books? What were you into when you were younger?
I was into the G.I. Joe comic book that Marvel put out. Yeah. I was in that. I love Batman. I had a friend in high school later on that got me into stuff like The Dark Knight Returns and all the Frank Miller stuff.
Right.
I read a lot of Spider-Man when I was a kid. And first love those was the Avengers when I was a kid. My first issue was Avengers 214.
Okay.
There was on the cover was the Iron Man being taken down by the Ghost Rider. See Captain America and Tigra in the background.
Oh wow!
And it was pretty amazing. And that was actually more known as the issue after Hank Pym was discovered. He was beating Janet.
Oh yeah,
Janet Van Dyne.
I remember that.
And as a kid, I didn't know what was going on as a 6-year-old. But later on, we're like, wow, they really put this in a comic book. Domestic dispute or domestic abuse between superheroes. Very, very weird. Very weird.
Tony Stark's an alcoholic.
Yeah. And later on, I was talking to Mike Zapsik. He was like, yeah, that whole hit, that wasn't really supposed to happen. He said he was supposed to kind of get frustrated and kind of shove her, but the artist didn't interpret it correctly, and he put in a full-on slap. And it's not. I wouldn't say it was a key issue.
Yeah.
We're probably never going to see this in the movies, but in comic book history, it's kind of big.
Do you have a favorite Avenger?
Oh man, dude.
I guess it's kind of.
You know what? I actually do. And a lot of people are like, "Why you pick him about Hawkeye?" I love Hawkeye. I love the old era Hawkeye with the folded over boots, like the purple and the big H on the head. I think that comes from an era like they'll never go back to that again, where they just write the letter on the head so you know who he is. They they don't really need to do that. But I loved Hawkeye back in the day. Then Hawkeye went and started the West Coast Avengers in LA, which I thought was always cool because we got to see Wonder Man and we got to see more laid back Avengers.
Wonder Man with the mullet.
Yeah, and the safari jacket. I thought that was cool. And then now later on with the Marvel now kind of relaunch, or you kind of call it a reboot of Hawkeye with Clint Barton and Kate Bishop, that storyline really spoke to me. It was Walt and Mike kind of made fun of me. They're like, man, that's a hipster Hawkeye. Why are you reading that?
So if you were to make your own version of the West Coast Avengers, who would be on there?
Oh my God, I would just go with the original crew, man. Definitely Wonder Man, definitely Hawkeye, Mockingbird. Oh man, who else would I put in there? I'd have Tony Stark flying for cameo appearances, and in the movies he lives on the West Coast, so he's got that big ass house in Malibu or whatever. But oh man, who else would I put on there? Who else is?
Vision was on there, Scarlet Witch.
Yeah. But you can have the powers, but to fight crime on the West Coast in LA, you need a different mentality for sure. Yeah. You need you kind of need that just more laid back.
The bohemian sort of.
Yeah. It's like, where's Hawkeye? He's on the beach.
Eating some avocado toast.
Yeah. He paid $8 for avocado toast. Yeah, exactly.
You mentioned podcasting is a big thing now.
Yeah, I love podcasting.
Let's talk about your shared universe.
Yeah, so I love podcasting so much. We've always wanted to kind of share the love as podcasters, and at cons like this, we always get people coming up. It's like, oh, we love your podcast. I've been thinking about starting my own. I don't know how to do it. What kind of gear do I get? I heard it's very expensive. Like uploading, all the technical stuff, editing. I don't really know how to do that. Like, what do you use? All that stuff. We get in these deep conversations. But at a con, I'd only have like 10 minutes to tell them what to buy, and I would scribble down some notes. Or I'd just be like, you know what, just email me and I can elaborate. But in 10 minutes, I can't really tell you much about, the world of podcasting. But me and Mike were always like, man, what if we had like a place, a studio, a classroom of sorts, where people could come down and we could teach them in 2 hours how to start a podcast. We could podcast with them. And our goal was always to be like, by the time you leave our studio, you're already up on iTunes.
Right.
And that's exactly what we've been doing. So half of our studio is just teaching people how to podcast. The other half is just rentals. If you need a place to podcast, you come in, we charge you a very low rate by the hour. And our environment is not all sound tiles and baffling and concrete. It's pop culture. It's Karate Kid posters. It's alien toys.
Right.
We have a Starfire statue somewhere.
Nice.
We have Rick and Morty. Looks like it blew up in our studio. Things like that. And if you're a first-time podcaster or somebody invites you on as a guest, you come in, you're kind of nervous. I've never done this before. But once you see all the cool stuff in our studio, you feel immediately at ease. So we've launched, about 15 podcasts since the beginning of the year. And there are dedicated seasoned podcasters who will come in once a month to bring in guests because they don't want to bring guests to their house. I don't know where you guys record.
We record anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people just set up on their kitchen tables or in their basements. It's kind of messy, and they don't want to welcome people in their house. We provide a nice, cool, neutral location for them to record.
For us, that's our goal to get to a studio eventually.
Yeah. So our goal is to build a shared universe podcast studios everywhere in every major city, where everyone could just come down, podcast for an hour, feel great about it, and then come back the next week and do it again. Yeah,
we have a mutual friend, Sully from the Nerd Foo. I saw that he was down in, Texas. You were down there too.
Yeah.
And you have a Coral.
Yeah, Coral Sword is a coffee and gaming cafe that I partnered with a bunch of geeks and opened up near the beginning of the year. So it's amazing coffee. We have a great menu. It's gamer food. Pizzas and chicken fingers. We have a huge board game library, so you can bring your friends down to board game. We have a liquor license, so you can drink a beer and play like King of Tokyo or Catan or whatever. Nice. But also in the back is a Twitch streaming / podcast studio. So we Twitch stream out of there every night, and it's a pretty sweet studio back there. We did a 24-hour live stream for charity. And Sully just happened to be in the area for a convention, and we had him on for a couple hours. Yeah.
Sully was one of the people that helped us get our podcast started.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I mean, we're all cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
And Sully, our friend Sully, just real quick, started as a podcaster. got a job at Funko out of it
Yes.
because he was a podcaster.
Yeah.
They needed a podcasting as a marketing arm, and he was like, "Well, I know how to do that. Plus, I'm a fanatic." So he got hired, and he's kind of living the dream right now. So
go check out the Nerd Food podcast and also the Funkcast.
Funko Funkcast.
Yeah, those are both good and awesome podcasts. I guess we can do a quick round of the Thunder Round, sort of like our off the beaten path set of questions.
Let's do it. Fire away.
Yeah, if you were to put 4 comic book creators on your Mount Rushmore,
creators.
Who would it be?
I think Brian K. Vaughan, little Jim Lee in there.
Okay.
Jeez, man. The other 2 would be. I'd put Alan Moore on there. He's cranky. He's so cranky though. He's so cranky. But number 4 would be tough, man. Oh man. Mount Rushmore. Number 4. I can't put Kevin on there, although he's not. I mean, he's a creator, but that's
Kirby. Jack Kirby.
Yeah. I think Jack. Yeah.
Okay.
I think Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
I mean, where do we put Stan though? I went a little more modern. I mean, I got it limited to 4. That's a tough question, dude.
I guess we can do the Naruto Hokage sort of the facades of the faces.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Dang, that's a tough question, dude. It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
If I gave you $1 million, what would you do with it?
I would probably open up more podcast studios.
Nice.
And I would probably. I think I really would. And I'd bring Comic Book Men back, but I think it's actually going to take more than $1 million. But for $1 million, I think I could probably build I could probably build 10 really awesome podcast studios around the country.
How about $100? What would you do?
$100, I would. Jeez, man, what can you buy for $100 these days? I mean, there's not much. I was going to say, maybe I'll go buy a mini bust or something that's really into statues lately. But $100. Dang, man.
I don't know. There's some pretty good craft brews here in San Diego. We can go check out.
Yeah, you know what? I would actually buy a round of drinks with it for you and all of our friends.
If you could have dinner with anybody dead or alive, or even fictional, who would it be, and where would you take that person?
Probably Batman.
Yeah.
And where would I take him? Do we go fancy like Bruce? No, we go to a divey place. I would take him to In-N-Out Burger.
Oh, nice.
Because we're here if we were in the West Coast, In-N-Out. East Coast, we go to Shake Shack.
Okay. Do you eat your In-N-Out Burger animal style?
Oh yeah, for sure. Animal fries as well.
Oh
ladies
wow.
And gentlemen. Get the animal style
that's
fries.
That's hardcore, man.
Yeah.
Like a lot of our listeners will probably, want to find out, more about you. Especially, what did you sing this morning in the shower?
I don't really sing in the shower.
No?
I do karaoke. I do like karaoke though.
Okay. So
I do like karaoke.
If you were to close out a karaoke joint, it's like 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
What do you bring the house down with?
Probably. I'm not into country, but there's a song like Big and Rich called "Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy," which seems to bring things down. I mean, end of the night, if no one else has done it, you always do Journey's "Don't Stop Believing."
Oh wow.
That one's easy, but everyone will sing that one. They're all drunk. And they'll definitely join in. So yeah, we gotta go Journey, man. It's cliche for karaoke place, but hey, man, I don't care. It's a great song.
Nice. Besides podcasting, and what other future projects do you have going on?
A lot of traveling. Even though the show's not anymore, I'm still getting invited to Comic-Con, so I'm gonna do as many of those as I can. I really love this environment. I love hanging out. I love podcasting impromptu at a Comic-Con is one of my favorite things. Things like that. Running the podcast studio is almost a 24/7 job right now. And we'll see. Hopefully the show comes back. And
fingers crossed.
Yeah, got Coral Sword, the Coffee and Comics Cafe to have some input on. And we'll see. I don't say no to anything. So a lot of people say, hey, actually, I'm gonna be in a Trauma movie. If you're familiar with Trauma, I won a walk-on role in that on the last season of Comic Book Ben. So I think I'm gonna do 1 or 2 days on that. Yeah, who knows? Yeah, I just don't say no. So if hey man, what are you doing? You want to do this? I would probably say yes.
That'd probably be some good advice that you can give to somebody who wants to start a podcast. Don't say no, right?
Yeah, don't say no. Don't say no. I think that's the worst word in the English language.
Besides that, is there any other pieces of advice you can give somebody who wants to start their own podcast?
Oh yeah, just grab a great co-host. Some people do it alone, but I need somebody to make fun of. I need somebody to bounce ideas off of.
Yeah.
And most of my podcasts are with Mike Zapsik, also from Comic Book Men. We make a pretty great podcasting team. When you do find that partner, make sure they're reliable, that they won't bail on you, that you should record once a week. It's like the old TV schedule. and you can't have that part. It's like, oh, I can't do it. My girlfriend, it's date night or whatever. No, podcasting's more important.
Right.
Podcasting is always number one. So yeah, and the other thing we always tell people is just be consistent. Try to record once a week, because people will pay attention. They'll subscribe. They're gonna expect the episode once a week.
Yeah, something that I tell people all the time is, don't worry too much about the technical stuff just yet. Just get started.
Yep. Just get started. If you have a low budget, just record it on your phone.
Yeah.
You have the apps already to start a podcast. Once you get a little budget, buy good microphones, and then you're off and running.
Right. Well, I don't want to take too much of your time.
Yeah,
I know you got
problem.
some people lining up up here, but I appreciate you coming on.
No problem, man.
We'll have to do it again, more in depth, maybe.
Hopefully we'll be back at even close to Hall H, back at San Diego Comic-Con.
Sweet. So, well, peace. Cheers.
Thank you
later.
guys.
All right. See you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, dude.
Fun.
Yeah.